Welcome to the Treehouse. This is Kag with the tarot reading from A View from Above for today, which is Saturday, August the 24th. And this morning, I'm going to be using the Centennial deck. We're going to do a 9+1 reading for the energies for the day. Just a reminder, yesterday's reading was about good decisions and about revisiting an offer that had been made. So we'll see if perhaps today's reading continues the story or gives us something brand new this morning. I did deeply shuffle the cards, but I wanted to give it just a couple more quick shuffles before we got started. So here is our cut, and this is the 9+1 reading. So here is the energy for our present. And here's the energy for the challenge and the energy for the wisdom. And Merriweather, as always. Okay, so we're going to look at these three middle cards first, and then we'll go back and clarify. So here is the energy this morning. The Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles is riches, and we're talking about the riches of your kingdom, whether that is financial or with people, with your garden or whatever. But there's a great deal of wealth in this card, reminding you just that Pentacles are not just money. It is about all of the other riches that you have in your life. This time of year, perhaps your garden is just overflowing, and that would be sort of the energy. It is abundance in its best place. It is the 10 card in the Pentacles, which means it's at the end of the suit. Sometimes people think that the court cards are part of that cycle, but really they're not. We're talking about harvesting something and then beginning again with the Ace of Pentacles. So this is a conclusion card, much like the Ten of Swords or the Ten of Wands or even the Ten of Cups. But this is the conclusion where you wanted to go with that garden, the life, whatever that is. It could also be a graduation. Many people have finished their summer school and are ready to move on to a new place. So this is just abundance as you are feeling it this morning, which is a great place for a Saturday, I think. The challenge for the day is the deep knowing of the High Priestess. She is intuitive in card form. She's got her feet on the moon down here, and she's got the two pillars on either side. And the B and the J are references to the Torah. Kabbalah is present in the tarot cards. I know a little about the Jewish Kabbalah and the Torah, but not enough to speak about it with any expertise. But that is what those pillars are representative of. The High Priestess, the curtain behind her, has the pomegranates of the Persephone myth. So the wisdom that she has gained, Persephone, from being ground with her husband, who stole her from Ceres because she ate 3 pomegranate seeds. But that is where the wisdom comes. And right at this moment, I cannot remember the king of the underworld's name, but I'll pop it in here. Okay, so, and as we are looking at the wisdom for today, we're looking at the Judgment card. Gabriel is blowing his horn to wake up the dead. And so there is in the wisdom today some aha knowledge, some, oh my gosh, yes, this is what I've learned. I know this thing. So this is not only wisdom from within, right? The intuitive knowing, but this is the, oh my gosh, look at this kind of a brilliant flash of knowing, which is nice with this abundance here. Okay, so let's look at the clarifiers for the abundance. And we have 2 sixes, which is really interesting. The Wands and the Swords of Sixes. The Six of Swords in this card is taking the boatman is taking these two people out of troubled waters and into something much more calm. And they're going over here, and we can't see exactly where they're going. But the good news is that this is moving from a more troubled place to a more peaceful place. He's got this oar or the stick that is pushing them forward, which is reminiscent of the wands, the will and the determination. It looks to me that these two people don't necessarily know exactly where they're going. And they look sad to me this morning. So maybe there is some sadness about moving on from this place. And when we have a success, it does bring up some sadness, right? And those turbulent waters of trying to get to this place of success or abundance is, it's kind of part of the journey, isn't it? And to try to integrate what happens at the end of something is sometimes some sadness. And waters being the element of emotion. There's some emotion related to this abundance that has happened here. The Six of Swords, or the Six of Wands rather, is a card that we've seen quite frequently of late. And it is the card of faking it till you make it, which is not unheard of when you've gotten to this place of abundance, like, oh, wow, look at this. Now I don't even know what to do with all of this. But to remember that you didn't get up on that horse by yourself. That horse is a costume that is on top of two other people. And so our successes are always built on the goodwill and the help of other people. And so to remember that you did not do whatever this was all by yourself, that you did have help, and whether it was in the form of advice or wisdom or time or money, whatever it was, you did have help to get to the successful place. So the challenge is to really dig deep to whatever it is that you know about the situation. And intuition is one of those things where we know something without knowing why we know that. And it seems like the older I get, the more I get these little flashes of inspiration, but I'm not sure it's not because I didn't know something at a previous time. And here we have the Ace of Pentacles, which is the card that follows the 10. And this is the garden of being offered an opportunity by the holy. Here's another opportunity for you. Here's how we're going to go forward. You can choose. You don't have to go because you're in this garden. It hasn't come to fruition yet. But if you go down that path, it's going to be a long journey down and up those blue mountains of your greatest potential if you choose to go. But remember that in the Pentacles, it's the one ace that doesn't have any of the odds. And so if you do choose to take this opportunity, which is probably a pretty good one, there's going to be work involved. So the blessing in this ace is the opportunity, but you're going to have to bring your own hard work in order to make it happen. And so your deep knowing is going to give you some kind of information about what that is. Is this something you actually want to do? The Seven of Wands follows the 6, so interesting. The Seven of Wands is Petruchio in the Taming of the Shrew Shakespearean drama. I love that he has 2 different shoes on, which means that he had to hurry up and grab his wand in order to protect himself. And so you have the capacity to not wear the armor all the time, to not always be ready to defend yourself, but that you can do it in an instant if that's what you need to do. This card is also one of not really caring what other people think. And I don't mean that in a negative way of saying that, but in terms of saying that you know what you need to do, right? You know who you are and what would be best for you. So that may also be part of what this deep knowing is. And that is the challenge, is to be who you truly are. And you know who you truly are. And perhaps that is the opportunity that's being presented to you at this time. That's the challenge. So the wisdom has to do with what you have learned. You had to travel a long way to get to this place. And so there is something that you have likely learned about yourself and about the world when you got to this place of abundance. There's something about equal relationships here and the wisdom of jumping off into a new opportunity. And there it is. So this would be a place of trying to decide whether that is something you truly do wish to do, with the foreknowledge that you're going to have to work pretty hard to get this to go. So let's see what we have. We have an ace, we have a 2. I didn't really talk about this 2. The 2 is a stage card. We've talked about this before. This is a drop behind these 2 people on a stage. So it could be that we are talking about a role that you would be taking, perhaps, or that you would need to take as a result of being abundant here and taking this opportunity. And if it's not a role, then it's really about an equal relationship. And so when you look at this opportunity, it may be you're being, and maybe you have learned that equal opportunities are the key here. That in order to do whatever it is that you want to do here, it has to be from a position of equality, as opposed to, say, the 6 of Pentacles card, which is an unequal relationship. And 6s tend to be that, unequal relationships. These people are being transferred by this guy, and this guy is riding on top of those guys. So there is there was an unequal relationship, perhaps, in the achieving of the 10 of Pentacles. And so we are being told that this next opportunity perhaps has to be one of equals. The Fool is the card of the beginning of the next cycle. The Judgment card is the 20th card, and the World comes after the Judgment card. So once you've learned the lesson, you've closed the cycle and you start again. So that's another cycle that seems to be present in this reading. So let's look at the Judgment card, or the Merryweather card, which is the 4 of Wands. The 4 of Wands is a celebration, and that makes sense to me, right? Because we have reached the end of whatever this is, and it is time to celebrate. And before we start thinking about what the next challenge is, let's be happy in this moment to celebrate what has happened here. The 4 of Wands is the happy home card. It is sometimes called the marriage card. But what it really is this bower has been created and can't be there for a long period of time. This is a temporary thing. And celebrations are temporary. We come together for a celebratory picnic at the end of the summertime, or even a wedding for that matter. We get together and we make this beautiful place and we do this celebration, but it is temporary. And so take your temporary celebration for what it is that you have done here, and before you jump off and do something new, I want to call your attention to the bridge here. That bridge is also present in the 5 of Cups, which is the card of loss and grief. And so the warning in this card, and warning isn't really a good word, but just to remember that the happiness now is part of the sadness then. That's a C.S. Lewis, and it's probably not an exact quote, but our life is full of happiness and sadness. And so knowing that there are cycles that happen to us, so just be happy in this moment. And when you are sad about something later, remember that the sadness is there because of the happiness here. So that's what I have for you this morning here at the Treehouse. If this reading was helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Remember that it is a collective reading, and so take what resonates for you and leave the rest. And I invite you to come back again tomorrow for another View from Above reading, and I will be happy to welcome you back here at the Treehouse. Blessings.